Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Wednesday, April 20th. And you can see temperatures quite variable out there this morning, anywhere from the mid 30s all the way up to near 50 degrees, depending on the cloud cover. We got a couple of mild days today, but we're going to see some precipitation move in by tonight and could be in the form of thunder showers that will last into Thursday. We could see some decent thunderstorms. Right now, nothing severe. Overall, looks like about a quarter to a half inch. I think the best chance for the heaviest precipitation is going to be across the southeastern parts of the area, and that's also where I think the warmest temperatures are. We could see temperatures break into the 70s for tomorrow. I think mainly 60s, could approach 70, but the warm weather is certainly going to go by the wayside here as we go into the weekend and into next week, when we expect plenty of 50s and 60s and maybe even a frost or freeze potential as we get towards next Tuesday or Wednesday morning, something we're going to have to keep an eye on, as a pretty dominant upper ridge across Canada is going to pull cold air into the area, and we're going to have a train of systems coming off the Pacific that's going to move towards the Great Lakes or Ohio Valley. And again, depending on where those systems track, we could see some excessive rainfall here later next week, or if the high pressure system is stronger and suppresses the storms farther south, then we could see mainly lighter rains. But either way, right now, it looks like next week's going to be cool and damp or cool and wet. If we look at the region, you can see temperatures again quite variable, anywhere from around 29 degrees around the Oscoda area all the way up to around 50 across southwest lower Michigan. Again, it'll be a warm day for today and tomorrow. If we look at the normals, our normal high is 61, the normal low is 38. And if we look at some of the soil conditions, we're going to try to do these each day at 6 a.m. to be consistent, so you can see where we're at during the cooler parts of the morning. And you can see across the Breckenridge area, our lower temperatures are maintaining their conditions around the upper 40s to low 50s, where of course the 2 inch is going to be quite variable as expected. If we look at Brown City, you can see again a little bit cooler over in the thumb area with mainly mid and upper 40s for soil temperatures. And of course, and then we go over to Marlette, and again, much the same, 2 inch temperatures quite cool. But the 8 and the 16 inch levels are in the upper 40s as well. They're certainly not going to really go up a whole lot other than these next 2 days, as again, much of next week we'll see probably temperatures holding mainly in the 40s in the soil. If we look at the growing degree day reports, we'll update these each day as well, and they'll be in order highest to lowest. And as the season goes on, you're going to find that Jasper, Blissfield, those areas are going to be at the top. But as of the recent couple of weeks, you get some of the interior sections that actually are able to climb a little bit warmer, and thus right now places like Lansing and Henderson and Middleton lead the way. And of course, you can see some of these totals from the last couple of years as well. If we look at the growing degree days, this is from March 1st, so a lot of these growing degree days not really going to anything that's being planted, of course, this spring, but certainly may be valid for some of the winter crops of wheat. But again, we'll update this at least several times a week as well. If we look at the surface weather map, you can see that low pressure system just ever so slowly trying to migrate out of the Rockies, which brought all that precipitation here and across areas of Texas, the snow back in the Colorado and some of the Rocky Mountain areas. Again, just very slowly inching its way towards the Great Lakes. High pressure trying to beat down this low pressure as it opens up and weakens as it heads to the northeast. But we'll see more development, and by tomorrow morning you can see a couple of low pressure systems going to bring a warm front up towards the state of Michigan. And again, I think tonight into tomorrow morning, especially across the southeastern half of lower Michigan, is where the most likely areas for precipitation will occur. And again, I think that's where the heaviest amounts, around a quarter to half inch. Of course, anytime you get thunderstorms, you could see heavier rainfall amounts in and near those thunderstorms. And then by Friday, the cold front pushes through. We're going to be dominated by a wind flow out of the northwest over the next week to 10 days, keeping us on the cool side. And again, they're going to watch for systems to come out of the Pacific Northwest through the Rockies and then head towards either the Ohio Valley or towards the state. And again, the overrunning rainfall could be pretty significant here as we get into next week, along with the cool temperatures. As far as precipitation over the next 7 days, you can see plenty of precipitation across much of the areas from the Gulf up to the Great Lakes. And again, you can see a pretty sharp cutoff to the precipitation, and that's up near that ridge that's going to hold pretty still where it's at. And again, it's going to be very important as to where these tracks of these storms are. If it's a little farther south, we may not get as much rainfall here in the Great Lakes. If it's a little farther north, then we could see pretty excessive rainfall. If we look at the next shot, you can see the U.S. drought monitor. And on Friday, we'll update this. We'll leave this slide in. You can see, you'll see more relief in the areas, especially across the southwest U.S. into California. You'll see that a week later after this was April 12th. The next one will be April 19th. And again, we'll show you that tomorrow or Friday on the slide right after this. And you'll see some pretty good improvements as far as drought conditions in those areas. As far as the next 6 to 10 days, you can see much cooler than normal across the Great Lakes into the northeast and out west where we'll have a trough there, and that'll kick those systems our way. So much of this will be due to precipitation and cloud cover. And again, that's going to bring relief to the far southwest U.S. as far as drought conditions. And you can see the precipitation out there as well. That will spread into the Great Lakes. So much of the nation is going to be on the wet side here over the next 6 to 10 days. And the 8 to 14 day outlooks are also very similar. Thanks for stopping by and have a great day, and 73s to all.